Hey y'all, it's Taryn. It is Sunday, July 3rd. Welcome. It's been a month. It has been 4 weeks, I think, since the last video. Um, I hope you've been well. It has been 4 weeks around here. I'm trying to keep my language clean. so, um, Wyatt managed to bend one of the wheels on his car, so I had to get 4 new wheels, 4 new tires. Abigail's brakes were having issues, so she came home, and what should have been a job that took a couple of hours one day turned into a multi-day job because she needed new sensors. Now she has new sensors, new brake pads, new calipers, and the problem still isn't fixed. So I don't know what's going on with that. Addison's car is not running. It's been 3 weeks that Jacob's been working on it, and I think we're down to the last thing. It's misfiring right now because one of the parts he changes has to be calibrated. So maybe that's going to happen and we're going to get that car fixed. They've just been one right after the other, so it's just been crazy. But because it's been 4 weeks, I have a lot of stitching to show. Before we get started, I want to apologize. On the last video, I put in Dax and Addison's dance, part of her dance at her wedding. I did not mean for it to end so abruptly. That just goes to my editing skills. That's all I'm saying. It took me 2 days to even get that video uploaded, so it just is what it is. Anyway, I do have a lot of stitching, so we'll get started. We'll chat more as we go. One of my new starts over this time period has been Folk Art Santa and Tree by Fancy That. I don't know if they still do these anymore. Do they even still publish? I don't know. I don't have any of the buttons. Some of that is buttons, I believe, but I think there's stitching in here. I could be lying. Maybe none of it's buttons. Here's my start. This little heart right up there at the top of Santa's hat. That's it. It's pretty impressive. This is a 14 count Ada, I'm pretty sure. I worked on this one from Calico Crosswords. I was going to say it just backwards. April. Ooh. Needle minders are sticking together. And I'm calling this one a finish. I didn't want the letters on it or the border. So, yay, a finish. Isn't it cute though? And instead of white, see the pattern has white for the eyes. I used one of the greens, and I just grabbed colors because I didn't think it needed to be exact. I worked on Spring Row by Bent Creek. This one's really cute. I'm doing it on a green. It looks like it's probably an 18 count. Last time I had the letter Z and just a little part, I had the red in the ladybug. So I feel like I got quite a bit done this go round. I mean, granted, that should be a quick finish, but we know I don't believe in that. I have to tell y'all, I am married to the most rule-following guy ever. And we were at where we like to go hang out, Devil's Backbone Tavern, which is a dive bar, if there ever was a dive bar. And he had gum in his mouth. I'm sorry, I laughed until I cried. And he swallowed his gum. And he was freaking out. He was freaking out. He was like, oh my God, am I going to be able, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So I was telling him, well, you know, um, don't fart tomorrow. You'll blow bubbles and stuff, which is very mean of me because he was genuinely freaking out because the man, he is 51 years old. He'll be 52 this month, has never swallowed gum before. And I couldn't get over that. I was like, how could you have never swallowed gum before? And he's like, because they said not to. He worried about it all night, a little bit the next day too. I couldn't quit laughing. Obviously, I'm still laughing about it. Does that make me mean? I would have never occurred to me that you could be that age and chew gum often and have never swallowed gum. Kirsten was like, I've done it on purpose. What do you mean you've never swallowed gum? That's my man. Out of this book, Portrait of a Cowboy, I'm doing this one. It's called The Shootout. My husband has a thing for Wyatt Earp and all of that, which is why we have a son named Wyatt. And so I think this will give him a OK Corral kind of vibe. But here we are. At the start, this one is on my list of 20 and 20. At the start of the year, I think I only had like this little part right here done. So I feel like I've made really good progress, even if it's supposed to be a finish. I don't know if we're going to get there. I don't make any promises, but progress is better than nothing. I'll take it every time. I think I have actually quite a few of my 20 and 20 projects that have been stitched on in the last month. I'm sure I have more that aren't those, but we cannot limit ourselves. This is one of my new starts. If you're new, I'm doing a new start every week. Generally, I do them on Sundays. That's when I try to do it. This is one of them. This is a Paula Vaughn Memories of Christmas. I love Paula Vaughn. I would like to have a wall of Paula Vaughn. And I did a center start. There you go. I know. How impressive is that? Yes. Almost every color around the center I don't have yet. I kit my stuff. I do not work from a master list. I kit each one of these by now near 110 projects is kitted. So I'm sure I have all those colors somewhere, but I'm not digging through other things. And I like to be able to just pick up my project and go. That's why they're like that. I went to, Kirsten and Abigail also went to the Golden Needle, which recently opened up in San Marcos. It is so exciting to have them there. Obviously, in the last video, I showed you what I bought there. And the girls and I went to Sit and Stitch last month. I think it's next Saturday for this month. I think it's the second Saturday. So we may go again. We'll see what's going on. I can't plan generally what's going on tomorrow. So out of this Just Cross Stitch April 2018, I'm doing this spring hair. This is so cool. It really is. This is how much that I've gotten done. The rabbit is like, this is the top in this section, and this is the end of his belly. So progress, it feels like it's a lot. Maybe it doesn't look that way, but it feels like it. That's what matters, right? Let's see. I don't want to forget these. I'm going to do these. And then in the midst with everything going on with the cars, the aerator pump on our septic system broke, and I ordered these safety screws, which usually when it breaks, the safety screw snaps and it can't make the connection until you fix the problem. And I ordered the safety screws, and I waited for those to come in, and went out there because I had other parts, went out there, and I didn't need the safety screws. It's got a different kind of connection now. So I put the other parts on, but one of them wasn't quite right, and it broke in less than 24 hours. So I had to order a new kit and wait for that to come in and rebuild that. Our hot water heater started leaking. While we were fixing that leak, another one sprung up, and they're all in the valve, shut-off valve handles. Right now we've got the one that sprung up at bay. Been trying to get a plumber to come out here, but right now it's not spraying water around like it was before. So when I was trying to drain the water heater, I thought, okay, I'll drain it into this smaller bucket and fill the bigger bucket where, later when Dax gets up, he can carry that bigger bucket out. In the first go round, I was carrying the smaller bucket, which was like 2 gallons, and the bucket broke. The lip I was holding it by broke, and I dumped it all over myself in the garage floor. So it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So I'm done. I'm done. All of it can stop right now. We've got the leak so that it drips like once or twice a day. It's not dripping enough to even keep the bucket under it wet. So I'm not, like in a panic on getting a plumber here, but I'm over it. I really am. I worked on my Brooks books. I think last time what I had to get done for July was I was supposed to do all of this and half of this, but after we went and stayed at the cabin, I had like a lot of the horses had done. So I had some of it started already. So I had to get this one finished and then half of this one. So I'm still ahead. I'm still grateful for that. And I do my new starts on Sunday, and then I also try to work on this on Sunday. I haven't done either yet today, so there you go. And it's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I don't know. Anyway, it's coming along. I still have high hopes. This one is also on my list of 20 and 20. And if I can keep with the 1.5 per month, I can be done by the end of the year. Before the end of the year, hopefully. Well, before, but I don't remember for sure. So I really am trying to stick to that. This one was another one of my new starts, the jelly cabinet. And I just did a little bit right in this area right here. And as you can see in this picture, the walls are lined. And yeah, I'm not doing that, but my floor is going to be lined too, because I had some DMC fabric with blue stripes. To make it look older, I coffee dyed it. And when I coffee dye, I use instant coffee. I use an instant espresso. It still smells very much like coffee, but it's been rinsed. So there you go. Anyway, my floor is going to have stripes, but this is the lazy way to get those stripes. And then there's what I've gotten done. Like I said, this is like one of the shelves in the cabinet, and then some of those had the same color. Those 2 little things in the shelf had the same color. Now I feel like I need coffee. I worked on Abigail's stocking. This is also on my list of 20 and 20. Again, if you're new here, I have a love-hate relationship with dimensions. don't even for a minute think that the hate part of that relationship keeps me from working on dimensions, because I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. Here we are. And I did, on here, I got in, this time when I worked on it, I put in, because there was still some back stitching that needed to go in here. And I got a lot of the back stitching done on that little guy. And I probably filled in more white. I think I finished off the scarf and stuff like that. I'm trying not to leave all of the back stitching till the end on this, because Wyatt's stocking, which, before I forget, I did work on his too. Again, on my list of 20 and 20, this is my come hell or high water, I'm finishing this stocking this year. I do 25 stitches a day at least on it. Usually I do more, but I think like this morning I did 30 stitches. It may not be a ton more, but it got me to a good stopping place. So here we are on it. Let me look. And when I said love hate with dimensions, as you'll notice, this is the Dimensions Gold Collection. I think Gold Collection just means it's even more frustrating. So anyway, it's really coming along. I am not going to complain at all. Since last time, I have finished filling in. I've got the tops of all the little houses done. Finished filling in the blue. I've started on, you can see the antlers. And you can see a little bit of detail coming in on their faces. And then I came and I had threads hanging here. So I came down some more with the white and then came back and filled in with this blue. And then I've come down here. I'm very close to the bottom here. There may be 1 or 2 rows lower than this. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. We're getting very close on that. And then I have done like 1% of the back stitching. So even if I finished all of the stitching tomorrow, I've got a crap ton of back stitching to work on. So there's that too. I want to finish by the end of the year, but it is going to be work to still do that. I worked on this mason jar lineup, I think is the name of it. Something like, yeah, mason jar lineup. Again, dimensions. That's what I mean about my love-hate relationship. I love the way they look. This time I filled in flowers. I think I have this jar, pretty much the jar done. So I'm trying to fill in the flowers so I can start backstitching. I backstitched some of the flowers up there, but I need to do the rest of the backstitching and everything. This is on my list of 20 and 20. I don't know if I already said that. This will not be done by the end of the year. It won't. And that's okay, because I've never gotten the 20 done, so it's all good. This is a Mirabilia Santa's Magic. I do not have a good picture of this one. It is really hard to tell what it looks like. And here's where I am. This one's on my list of 20 and 20. And again, no, there's no way. This time I did a little bit of filling in here, and then there's a bunch of white down there. Trying to see where it is. It's like right in here. And I don't even know if you can see it. It shows up fine in person on here. I was trying to, because Shelly wants me to get up to his face because it's so hard to see in the picture. And so I was trying to do that and skip around. This is on a 32 count mushroom Lagana maybe. I don't do a ton of stitching. I'm very slow when I've got to count the stitches like that, the 2 over 2 or whatever. And so I was trying to skip around to work on it and avoid the obviously where the beads are, but I was trying to avoid Krynic, and for me to move up, there's a lot of Krynic in here, so I don't feel like I can skip over it, and I didn't have any of the Krynic. I bought this as a kit, partially kitted. It wasn't fully, I mean, I've got some of the Whisper, not all, one of the Whisper colors, not both, and I didn't have any of the Krynic. What came is, it was one that somebody had already kitted up for themselves and never started. So I went to Golden Needle when I was there. No, we went a different time. I bought the Krynic. And so I guess next time I work on it, I'm actually going to work on where the Krynic goes. So there you go. I started this one. It is, I'll show you back here. See, it's the pattern only. You can't really tell anything. It came from Sherry Smith. It was in some of this stuff. It says, "Have a Merry Texas Christmas." This was one of my new starts. As you can see, obviously, this is part of a bow, part of Texas, and part of Merry. I had issues with this one. I was doing stuff and I had my letters off. It was not pretty. It was not pretty. There's a bunch of greenery that goes here and in here on either side of the Texas, hanging down, which is crazy confetti heavy. I am not looking forward to that at all. I worked on Friendship Quilts by Paula Vaughn. This is on my list of 20. Like I said, I just love her stuff. I should stitch it faster, but I don't. There are only like maybe 10 more stitches this way, and they're all half stitches, I think, to get to this edge of the pattern. This here is the rocking chair, and it has a quilt, or it's a chair. I don't know if it's a rocking chair. You can't see the bottom. It's got a quilt hanging over it. This time I worked on this side, some stuff around the window, basically, is what I was working on. So, and I think when I get the stitching done on this side, that it's going to be in my best interest to go ahead and backstitch, because her stuff has a lot of backstitch. I worked on Ukrainian ornament. This is a free pattern. It's from cross-stitch-patterns.eu. I don't know if you can, I don't think my camera's going to focus enough, so there you go. Anyway, I've started this one multiple times. This time I finally got the hang of it. There are just a few more things that go right over here, I think, to end the page. This time I filled in this flower and put in this flower. I think that's all I did this time. There's just a little bit of stuff right in here that we'll finish this page and then we can move on to the next. In the pattern, all of that background is stitched. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That is not happening. No way. I have to look and see which ones of these I've worked on. I actually think I've worked on. It's been so long, I've worked on probably all of them. These are the Joyful World sows. We'll just look at all of them. How's that? Because I've started them all. I've started them all, and I don't know when the last time we've done this is. And I would have to sit here and look it up. So we're going to start at December and work our way back so that as I set them down, they'll still be in order. So December looks like this. Hold on just a second. Okay, I hit the wrong button and I stopped it, so. Okay, this is the December Joyful World Sal. And I'm doing this on just a piece of fabric that I coffee dyed. Couldn't tell you another single thing about it. So it's Ada. I know that. It looks like it's probably a 18 count, sorry. This is where I am. I think on these little balls, I'm going to put like strings like they're hanging. That's not in the pattern, but I think I'm going to do that. And again, I don't know if you've already seen these just as they are. I did a bunch of them during the last months during Mania, so you may have already seen all of them. November. Mighty impressive. I don't think I've worked on that since last time. October. I had to look to see how it goes. September. I'm not sure, but I believe that I started September here. This is the same piece with October, and they actually won't both fit on there. I think that's how that goes. So, September, I believe, is here. Some of these starts are very impressive. I know. August is this one. And here it is. Yeah, I don't know how it goes. It may go like this. I know that it is August because there is an A right here. July. Obviously, I'm doing these individually, and the intention is to put them up at the office. That's what I have done for July. June, the bear is freaking adorable. Speaking of bears, I've been just almost glued to, it's on a river in Alaska at one of the state parks. Now I can't think of, or it might be a national park up there. I can't think of the name of it anymore at the moment. But just watching the bears, I believe it's time for the salmon to be spawning and swimming upstream, and the bears in there. And frankly, I've watched some of these bears, and there are fish just jumping all around them. They're not even trying. There are some of these bears that just stand there and wait until it just jumps in their mouth. But it's been really cool to watch them. Uh-oh. I don't know where that one is. That one's evidently on a piece of fabric with something else. Maybe that's what, no, I don't know. I don't know where that one is. If I find it, I'll show you. May, with the little kitty cats. Because I got all off on talking about the bears. So there we go. There's May. Got some stuff. April. April. A joy and a pleasure, let me tell you. I was farther on April than just about any of them. I mean, look at that squirrel coming in right there. And you know what occurred to me when it was time to pull April out? I stitch on, I have the little decision roulette things, and so I stitch, I spin, And that's how I know, that's why I stitch on so many different things, because it tells me. And I pulled this one out. This number came up, and I was looking at it because look at this. You see my margin over here? Well, this isn't quite halfway. It's about 5 stitches from being halfway. And so I counted out the stitches and I folded in half. And I mean, I could fit it. The last stitch would be like right here. So I am going to finish the little, just see the squirrel's like sitting in a tree. I think I'm going to finish the tree and that squirrel and, you know, get the grass here under it and do a small or something with it. But here's my restart. I was doing so good. There's March. Okay, I found June. What's March look like? Obviously, I started at the bottom on March and skipped over and did a little bit of the water. I told you I'd show you if I found it. Here's June. I did some of the borders. You can tell I'm getting tired of working on the border. And started on the bear. February with all the little ducks. And all of these are free patterns from Snowflower Diaries. If you go to her blog, you can find them. I've gotten quite a bit done on January. So we're starting to have a duck. So, oh, I'm sorry, that was February. January is the fox. And I've gotten, I think, quite a bit done, yes, on January. So, hooray! We got to the end of those. But every time I pull stuff out, I just want to do more. I want to keep going. Here's another new start from Tumbleweeds. Little House Needleworks. It says this is Tumbleweed chart number 2, Cowgirl Country. I've already started number 1, and I started just her. And there's my start. I'm doing this on the same fabric. Here's my start for number 1. This is just a big, very long piece of fabric. I dyed it with Rit Sandstone, and that looked really, really orange when it was done. So I coffee dyed it to tone it down a little bit. My start for today is going to be the horse. And then next week I should start the rabbit. I say should because if I plan stuff, doesn't happen. Got to play it by ear. I worked on the never-ending tree. I call it the flower tree. I'm not sure. I think it's supposed to be summertime. It's a printed canvas, printed cross stitch. I took this with me when we went to the Saturday sit and stitch because I figured that was easy enough, you know, to not have to worry about. And so now that you can see where I'm really at, this is on my list of 20 and 20. I have been going back and making sure that everything over on this side, because I realized that there were some places that weren't stitched. I think I've got them all stitched now. So right in this is what I have left to get done. I have high hopes that I can actually get this one done. Like right here, all of this is actually stitched. That flower is white, so it actually is stitched in. But like I said, I have high hopes. We'll see. We'll see. It won't be the end of the world if it doesn't get done, but that's okay. This one is, I don't even know if it has, New England Summer is the name of this. It came out of a cross stitch magazine, but it doesn't have it listed in here. So I don't know which one or when or any of that stuff. Oops. This time I finished off this part of the house. I've got to fill in the windows and get the roof on. And then this is on my list of 20 and 20 also. Then there's another set. A lot of this stuff back here is outlining and back stitching and half stitching and stuff like that. So I'm hoping it will go quickly. But it's me stitching and quickly isn't part of it. I have to do this because I just remembered. I did actually work on my Mystic Stitch on Solitude. This is perpetually on my list of 20 and 20. I'm not 2 pages complete yet. I have filled in a lot since the beginning of the year on this. Like this is a partial page, and then this right here is a page. I am down to a part where this is like, I stitched on it for like an hour the other day, and I might have gotten 30 stitches in because it is so much confetti right now. And I seem to have been sloppy with my highlighter because I have things marked off that have not been stitched, and I have things that have been stitched that aren't marked off, which makes it really difficult to decide what color goes where. And there's probably 100 shades of brown in this. I'm worrying about it a lot, making sure I've got the right color in the right place, and I could just start filling them in and nobody would know. But I did work on it. It is just, we're down to the confetti. The confettiest of confetti. We're down to the part that I kept putting off, and it's just really hard to feel like I'm making any progress. I worked on Happy Farm Girl from It's So Emma from Fat Quarter Shop. This is a lot of stitching. I mean, it really is. I had said originally that I don't think I'm going to do the red check border around it, but I love red and yellow together and stuff like this, so I think it'd look pretty cool, so I might. I don't know if you've noticed. Okay, I finished filling in the apron and the pocket and the heart and everything. I outlined her skirt, and that's a leg. It's a leg coming out from under her skirt. I should have put the boot on because that looks so bad. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm like, oh, Taryn, what do you have hanging out from under her skirt? Moving on. I worked on this cute little beehive with these flowers. It's a free product pattern from Jan Lynn. Look, now I'm all flabbergasted. This is on my list of 20 and 20. I started this, I think, in 2017. So in 5 years, this is what I've gotten done. I picked it up yesterday. I think it was yesterday. No, maybe it was Friday. I don't remember. I picked it up and I worked on it for like an hour, and I got in this right here. That's what I had done. Maybe 30 minutes. I don't know. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to put it away. And then I thought to myself, because I don't like this fabric. When I just look at it, it seems even. But when I'm stitching on it, it seems like, there's this one. And I'm trying to do it over two. But it's like, here's one and then two. They just don't seem like, okay, here's a hole, here's a hole, here's a hole. It's like, okay, here's one kind of in between. Oh, this one's over here a little bit. I hate it. Regardless, I hate it. And when I was going to put it up, after only putting in a few stitches, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Quit stitching it on something you don't like. So I went and grabbed another piece of fabric and I restarted it. And I'm almost to the place where I was before. I'm missing like the outline of that one flower. That's all that I didn't get done. And a second color up here on that leaf. I mean, I'm probably within 50 stitches. That 5 years, an hour and a half. I mean, that's just not right. So I'm going to be much happier working on this. I think this was a piece of blue Ada that I poured some purple on. Dipped it in purple. I don't know. But I think I'm going to like it on there. So far I like it. And now that it's been 5 years, I'll take so far liking it. That's on my list of 20 and 20. So restarting something the beginning of July that is something you're supposed to finish this year may not be the best idea. But it wasn't going to get finished this year on that fabric, I can tell you that. I worked on my Earth Dancer. I never get the name of this one right. Yes, Earth Dancer. Yay! It's the first time for everything, right? She is also on my list of 20 and 20. Like I said, there were several of them. I did a lot of fill-in work over here. And the mere fact that I'm looking at this and can't really see it is why I was disheartened by it. Because maybe you can see better right here. All of this is filled in. And I did all of that and I'm like, it doesn't really look like I did anything. So I came up here because there was some of this white. It's really ecru, but on here it shows white. And so I went into and did some of that just so I could see some progress. And then I was looking at it and I'm actually, I mean, this isn't going to get done this year. I'm certain of that. But I'm actually farther along than I thought I was because I have most of this right here done. There's some little shadow here on the side that isn't in there. And then that white that I went to do is up here at the top of the sleeve. So I've got a lot of that filled in already also. So I was happy to realize that I was way farther along than I had given myself credit for. I don't know what I did with my booklet. I worked on Fall Welcome. I don't know where it went. I guess it really doesn't matter. Which is on my list of 20 and 20. And I hope you're ready for this. I finished it. I was so excited. I started getting close and I was like, okay, family, no one's eating until I finish this. But again, lots of back stitching. But it doesn't matter. I'm thrilled. So hooray. I think that makes 3 off my list of 20 that I have finished this year. I know. It's impressive. I know. But I finished the Fall Welcome and the April Cat, both of those in June. So I had 2 finishes in June, and I was actually expecting absolutely 0 finishes in June, so I'll take it. Yes, that makes 3 for this year out of that list. I've actually finished 9 things this year. I've started way more than that because I'm doing a new start every week. But I'm thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled to have that one done. This one I had to restart at the beginning. I think I restarted it at the beginning of last year. I don't think it was the beginning of this year. because my other fabric, it just wasn't, I found out too late it wasn't going to fit. I think that's all for the stitching. Hooray! Kirsten and I, while I was out busy not making videos, went, they call it 90 miles on Highway 90. It's a 90-mile garage sale. A lot of the people participating are actually resale shops. The first town we stopped in, because they give you a list of who's participating, the first town we stopped in, we stopped at 2 different places who were not participating on, because it was on a Friday and Saturday, and we went on Friday. And I guess they were people who were only going to do their garage sale on Saturday. And the other places in the town were resale shops that we could go to at any time. None of them were having any sales or anything like that. So we went on to the next one, and the first place we went to was not participating on Friday either. They really should make them say so. But we went, kept pushing through, and we found stuff to buy. I did buy some things. I didn't buy a ton. I bought a couple of things to put in my eBay store. You know, nothing big. But I did buy this for me. It's on linen. I'm going to take it out of here. I bought some stuff called Retro Clean. I watched somebody's show. Gosh, it's going to kill me now that I can't remember. She has a Flosstube channel, but she talked about it. And she has a lot of project bags made with vintage linens, and she cleans them with this Retro Clean, and they are just absolutely, they look brand freaking new. So I bought some of that. I'm going to try to kind of get some of the, hopefully, stains out of here. I don't know what they are. It looks like it maybe at some point something might have been living inside this frame. I'm a little bit scared. I'm going to tell you. But anyway, I thought I would save the stitches. So and I'm pretty sure I got this in one of the shops. We did go into some of the shops, but we did learn that next year when we go to do it, we are going to drive past about the first 30 miles of the garage sale, because those are the 2 towns. And the first town is really like 30 miles away from us. We had to get up early and drive a pretty good clip to even get to the places. But we've decided that we're going to skip to town number 3 next year when we go do those. So anyway, I did something else I have absolutely no business doing, and I almost never do this. As a matter of fact, I have not, well, I was going to say I've not participated in monthly like stitch alongs, but I have with the what do they go by now, Fox and Rabbit, with their, I've done a couple of years. One of them I finished, the other one I have not, the Quaker sampler stitch along. But this one isn't stitching, but I saw this one is a crochet along, and I saw an ad on something else. I mean, it wasn't, I don't think their website, they may have sent me an email, I don't know. But I saw that blanket, and I was just like, oh my God, I just think that's beautiful. So I signed up for this crochet along. And let me tell you, it's 10 months. You get a pattern every month, and the fabric. I'm in trouble if I'm waiting for fabric. The yarn, here's my first month. And this is my block for the first month. Obviously, since the yarn is still sealed, I haven't started it, but I'm going to try my very best to keep up. It's, you get 10 packages. We are not going to calculate how much. I wouldn't pay how much that's going to cost for one. But by God, if you sell it to me in 10 little packages, yes, I will. Anyway, I just think that's going to be so pretty. And if it wasn't bad enough, Kirsten crochets also. Neither one of us are magnificent at it, but she also ordered Kit of the Month. It's the same size. This will be a 55-inch square. Hers is the same size, but hers is a different pattern in an off-white and some of these colors in more muted tones. She likes a really boho kind of vibe, so that's more what hers are going to be. So yeah, there you go, because I am staying so caught up on my cross stitch. I needed something else to work on. Right. Trying to decide what else. I don't think there was anything really big and exciting. I did this in case anyone wants to try it. I have not actually sewn together a pillow and put this in to try, so if you try it, it is at your own risk. We have cats, and I use pine pellets, I don't know, some kind of pine cat litter. It's in little wood pellets. It works by far the best at controlling any kind of litter box odor. But when they use the bathroom, the pellets break down into basically sawdust, like this. No, this did not come out of the litter box. So I took a scoop of the litter and I put it on a big plate and I ran some water on it to let it all get wet, and then it puffs up really big. So if you're going to try this, give it room. It puffs up a lot. But when you just let it dry, then you get sawdust. So I know a lot of people like to stuff their little pillows with sawdust because it can get them really firm. And if you have trouble getting a hold of sawdust, there's an option. A 20-pound bag of the litter is like $9 or $10. So you can try it. It's worth a try. Like I said, I haven't actually tried it. I've only wet the pellets and let it dry and dumped it in this bag. That's as far as we've gotten. Because, I hardly ever finish anything. I hardly ever FFO anything. Just looking around to see if I had anything else. I ended June. I'm looking at my balance. Negative 63 cents. But with my July budget of $10, now I'm back in black, as AC/DC would say. Aging myself. And I know I've said more than once, I'm starting something every week this year. I am planning to do the same thing next year. I know that gives me an incredibly large number of whips. I'm somewhere between 105 and 110 right now. But I like the fact that the things that I've bought, that I've kitted up, that I've actually started, it makes me feel less like I've wasted my money, even if I don't get them finished right away, or it takes a long time. But the truth of the matter is, after I finish Wyatt and Abigail's stockings, that bumps me up to 2016 as my oldest whip. And I think 1999 bumping to 2016 is a pretty big jump. But in those, I think both of the 2016 is the Mystic Stitch, And they're things I started in Mania. So like the flower tree, um, the solitude, and maybe the pavon with on the porch. I think those will be my oldest whips. And those are big involved whips. I don't feel so bad about that, them being that old. Actually, I don't feel bad about any of it. But I was thinking about next year, and because I have enough stuff already here, already in the little bags, with some of them with the fabric already, some of them with threads already, um, to at least get through half of the year next year. I was counting them out the other day. I think I have 25, something like that, 23, 24, 25, somewhere around in there. But I have a box of, Janet had sent me a while back, a box of all kinds of different daily cross-stitch calendars. And so I'm going to go through there, and that's what I'm going to use for the rest of my new starts next year. I'm thinking maybe there's 5 years in there, 6 years worth of calendars. I'll have no trouble picking out everything I'd want to work on. So I'm going to go through those, and I'm going to pick out that to finish off next year. And my gosh, once I start going through those, I could probably do another year beyond that just on those. But I have a direction, and a lot of those are going to be, from the calendars, will be smaller pieces. So at some point I should be able to have, finish a lot of things. The big ones still linger because they take a long time, but it's okay. What else am I going to do? Crochet? Okay, I think that's it. I don't think I had anything else pressing. Not that any of that was pressing. Yeah, really, I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, I have to tell y'all this just because, why not? Yesterday, yeah, I think it was yesterday, I have poinsettias out front, and they just dry out so fast out on the porch, especially in this heat. I brought them in yesterday to water them. I wanted them to get really watered, really soaked in, because they were drying out so fast. And I put the one in the sink in the bathroom because I can't have anything living around the cats because they will chew it up. And so I took it into our bathroom, and I put it in the sink, and I turned the water on, and the dirt started moving. I was like, whoop. And I turned the water off. And then I turned the water back on a little bit, and the dirt started moving some more. And I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm just like standing there, you hand out to the doorknob. Do I run? Do I stay? And I could see there's a toad living down in there. And then when Dax came in, he had been out working in the yard and clearing the fence line. And when he came in, I was showing him, and I was like pointing at it, like, here's his little face right here. And it like lunged. And I screamed and pulled my hand back like it was going to bite my finger off, like it had, jaws or something. And of course he laughed at me. But then he was getting in the shower, and I was just walking out, and he's like, you going to leave that in here? And I said, until he burrows back down in there, I'm not carrying him off and having him jump out in the house and then having to catch him and keep the cats away. And I said, I'm going to let him relax and burrow back down in there. And Dax is like, if I get out of the shower and he is running around in here, I'm kicking your ass. But he didn't. Ass unkicked. But I took it back outside, and I'm assuming that's why that poinsettia is just, it's mostly dead. There is no saving it because he's down in there in the roots of it. But the other one now I have inside, it's just too hot outside for them. So anyway, I just thought y'all might enjoy that. It's always a good time in the House of Early. There is always something fun and exciting going on. Abigail will be home tomorrow because, lucky her, she has jury duty on Tuesday. I think her company thought she was lying because they said, well, we can't let you off your schedule for that. And so I sent her the link and I said, here's the law. They don't really have a choice. And so I said, you need to send them a copy of your jury summons so that they know that you're not just trying to add on days to a long weekend. But anyway, Addison's pretty mad about it because Addison would dearly love to be on jury duty. If she could do that as a job, she probably would. But anyway, her taste is way above what that would pay. There you go, professional juror. What do you do? I'm a professional juror. I judge people. I think that's it. This is like a stupid long video. I apologize. Honestly, I never intend to be gone for this long. For one thing, if for no other reason, it makes it so hard for me to put all this stuff back up now. So, anyway, thank you for coming. Welcome all of my new subscribers. If you have hung in there this long, I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for all of your comments. I do read them. I apologize that I suck so bad at responding. I don't know what it is, but when I try to respond, I get the little spinny wheel of death on my phone. And we don't have internet out here at the house, so the only time I can do it not on my phone is at the office, and it doesn't cross my mind. There's always just too much else going on. So anyway, I apologize for not answering your comments. I read them. I love them. I appreciate them. I just suck at the other part. Anyway, I've still got to do today's new start. Got some crocheting to do. These people that live here are probably going to expect to eat sometime today. They're so demanding. Anyway, I'm going to go. I thank y'all. We will see you here next time. And until then, y'all take care. Bye, y'all.